And we are live. Welcome. This is Growlersations, episode 10. We've been sitting silently before patiently waiting, going live. We got a couple beers today. This is Mechanical Advantage by Brain Dead Brewing, new German Pilsner that got released just yesterday. And then a special at this table exclusive 50-50 blend of our tamale season with the regular export stout base beer because we ran out of beer and we needed to fill the growler. So that's what we got. Also got me, Sam, got Jeff, but this is Keith Schlabs, one of my mentors, my first mentor probably, of Flying Saucer fame, and then Marc Castaldo, who is his right-hand man for many moons, who holds down the Fort Worth side of things, but also anchors the beer program across the board. So thank you guys all for showing up.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Mark's such a beer drinker, he brought a little extra beer just to make sure that we did our damage. So Keith, you are what's your title now? What do you call yourself?
Well, the beer operating partner.
Operating. I like beer guru.
Your dad still calls me the beer guru.
Or the mentor.
The
mentor to
the
say
beer guy, the beer dude.
Have that as your.
Everybody that I knew growing up in this business loved what I did for a living, but beer's only a small part of it. But I am the beer dude. Mark is my beer director, and I would say I'm operating partner.
Right on. So beer director is like an actual title now, not just something I had in my business. I put on my own business card.
It's
I've expanded on the concept. That's all I've done.
It was difficult to relinquish that, because I love that part of it. But, Mark and I have been together for 22 years, and it was fairly easy, and he's done a good job, so it works.
22 years,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
I put in the little teaser on Growlersations today that today at the table on the show we were going to have over 50 years of craft beer pouring experience, which is not something that gets to get said very often at a table of four people. But if you guys are both clocking 22, that puts us in damn near 60 range too. So
Yeah, I've been in the beer business since 93.
90.
So that would be 24 years, something like that. It's been a long road.
And was Yewa Creek was the first craft beer, or was somewhere right before that?
No, it was Yewa Creek. It was the first brew pub in Texas. I mean, right behind Waterloo in Austin. You know that one?
It was before Twitter, so we don't know exactly who opened first.
We did not have email back then.
There's no way to verify without Twitter.
We faxed everything. So Yewa opened up on Henderson where the Dram was, next to the porch. And the porch was the barley house. Mm-hmm. And that's where I cut my teeth in craft beer.
Back before Barley House went and took over the Green Elephant spot.
Yes. And they were one little hole in the wall there. They were very busy, and it was a good time. They had 20 taps.
20 taps.
That was a lot.
But Yewa,
Still is kind of
so
a lot.
Sam, I came from a restaurant background through college, and growing up, my first job was in a restaurant, and a friend of mine knew that I liked beer and said, "Hey, this thing's opening up. You need to check it out." I went. I got a job that day, and told corporate America to see you later. And it was fun to learn about beer and to hear everyone talk about beer. I had no idea that it was that big of a thing.
Yeah.
But everybody that had gone to Europe or somewhere was talking about the good beer.
So you started, was it Bennigan's?
It was Steak and Ale initially.
Steak and Ale? Steak and Ale? No, you told me a story.
Deep, Sam.
You told me a story one time
was like
about
his
when you were
Fridays.
getting trained. You were getting trained how to change a keg. Can you tell me the story of you being trained how to change a keg?
Yes. So Bennigan's at that time probably had 8 taps, maybe something like that. A lot of it was light beer, and their walk-in coolers were tiny, and so they had stacked 3 or 4 high. And my manager in training said, "Hey, Keith, we need to change the keg. This is where it is. This is what you do." And I saw him take a keg from the 3rd tier up.
Just beast it down?
No. He had to take a full keg stack and pull it down to the ground to tap it. And I said, "Let me help you." He's like, "No, get back." And he pulls it down, and he throws it kind of down to the ground. He just pulls it down, drops it, and it lands on his big toe, and I think cut it off. Hey, I was in shock. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, and I'm like, is that your foot? That was his big toe. We
Over there?
We pulled his shoe off, and I had to run the shift, send him to the hospital. Man, it was crazy. The dude lost a toe training me how to change a K.
So that's how beer training used to go.
Wow.
I wish I remembered his name, but my lord,
You're gonna get a phone call tomorrow.
I forgot about that until you said it. It was crazy. That was awful.
Well, that was a while ago. So,
That was 1991.
I like that. So you guys started working together 22 years ago. Mm-hmm.
21 years and 6 months, but I'm not counting.
Okay, yeah, 21 years. Excuse me. Everyone likes to nitpick on me with my dates. I was pretty close.
You
on
were
that
definitely close. Well-rounded.
one. So 21 years and 6 months ago, you said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go work for the Flying Saucer."
Yeah, I had one of those dead-end corporate restaurant jobs. Management was an absolute nightmare.
Let's not plug that one.
Yeah, let's not plug that one. They're not even around anymore.
Vicky Gage was the GM.
No. And I walked into, my friends had been to the saucer in downtown Fort Worth and brought home a flypaper. At the time, I had already been beer geeky, driving them crazy. I mean, we were all drinking Natty Lights, but I was veering off the path and finding the Basses and the Guinness and the Newcastles and sitting at the Ginger Man in Dallas, thinking I was cool shit. Anyway, I gave up the job, went downtown, treated myself to a night at Saucer in downtown, and Sean Wharton was bartending that night. We hit it off, talking about beer, up one side and down the other, and he's like, "Dude, you should get a job here." I was like, "Yeah, I should. How do I do that?" I was lost in the world. Anyway,
Leave a post-it note.
yeah.
Fax us your resume.
He writes a sweet little note on the top of my application. Key manager at the time gets it and says, "Hey, you should come back for an interview on such and such day." I was like, "Okay." I show up, and it's the 1-year anniversary of the store, and the GM, Vicky, at the time's like, "I ain't got time for you, dude. Get out of here." And I thought my chances were gone, and thankfully, a couple days later, she called me, asked me what I knew about beer. I was like, I know this, I know that. She's like, "Well, what's your favorite beer?" I said, "Sierra Nevada Pale Ale." "Where's it made?"
You're hired.
"Chico, California." She goes, "You start tomorrow." "I don't have any work for you, but you can start tomorrow." I was like,
Find something.
"I
for you to
won!"
do.
And that was it. I was done. 1996
And
to
he was
today.
bar backing, and I used to always have to bust his ass because he would wear Teva sandals. And I was remembering, I think the manager,
Told you
No
that.
wonder you come full circle. You're gonna lose a job.
bro, please.
And
I
I was
kicked
in
him off.
that.
I didn't wear him anymore after that.
I was in that cool old building where Bird Cafe is now.
Yes.
Was the OG Flying Saucer down in
Yeah.
Sundance Square of Fort Worth.
That's where I met Shannon Wynn. Yeah.
Hey,
December of '94, I think it was.
how long later was I pointing to the shooting
So
star?
when I met you, it was at your Caddo house on the top
I
deck.
just got back from this
You
weekend.
were 10.
All right.
You were 10 years old, and your dad was like, "Hey, you guys want to go to the lake?" And we're like, "Yeah, it'd be awesome." So Aaron and I went to the lake, and he put us to work
Mixing?
building your dock. And whoops, he's mixing. This is a mixed tape. So anyway, yeah, you were 10, and you were so smart and so cool, and it was a good time. I was labor for your dad, and you were entertainment for all of us.
I really, actually, really do remember that story you tell me pointing at the star and like telling the constellation
Yeah.
sitting out there with you,
You
all those
nailed
years
it.
ago. Well,
You nailed it.
thanks for being a badass and teaching me how to do this whole thing, man. That's really cool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I actually opened up the book that you gave me when I was bartending in San Antonio before we moved to Austin, and I was tasked with training the opening crew down at the Austin Saucer a little over 10 years ago. Brewmaster's Table by Garrett Oliver. It was signed by Garrett Oliver to Sam Wynn. Thank you for pulling that off.
Yes, sir.
But then you wrote on the page after that to Sam, "I hope this book helps you get started on your quest for beer knowledge," or something within a couple words here and there of that. And that was the first beer book I ever read and cared to. And I have been very selective on the people that I've let borrow that book.
Yes.
When I felt like they were, good, strong people, I let them have my special book, and they've always come back. It's still got all my old notes in there, but that was 10 plus years ago at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a damn good book too, don't you think? I mean, it tells
Brewmaster's
you what you
Table
know.
is the jam. I want to reread it. I want to reread it. Brewmaster's Table is a really great book. If you're looking for a book on beer, Randy Mosher Tasting Beer has been getting being the Cicerone study textbook lately.
Yeah.
But Brewmaster's Table is just a good read. I don't care if you're trying to study beer or what. It talks about the history of the style. It talks about modern applications and changes of the style, and then it goes into talking about pairing beer with food. And because it does it by style and by category, it's really digestible, and it's something you can sit down and read for an hour, put away, pick up a week later, however you want to do it.
But it's a reader.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a bathroom reader
here.
for sure. You can flip through, and there's a lot of really great information in there, so that's good. You got Garrett Oliver coming to.
Yeah, so Garrett's coming to the Flying Saucer on Lake Ray Hubbard by Bass Pro, February 8th, Mark. Mm-hmm. Okay, and Suki Atsuki, who's our chef, who opened Meddlesome Moth and has done, Garrett events there. I think Allagash, Rob was our first. She's done a lot of events for us. And so it felt good to have her come and do a Garrett Caliber dinner at the lake. And so she's doing the pairings and giving him the menu. He wants to pair. And that's how he rolls. I get it.
Hey, but when you get there, you're able to make a request like that.
February 8th.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. The tickets will go on sale.
Let's just say tomorrow for.
Yeah, so it'll be on our website if you're interested.
Probably tonight, but definitely
It'll
tomorrow.
be a good time.
I'm through your
Depends on how
website.
many
Is there like a
growlers we go
ticket
through.
purchasing website you're
I
partnering
did
with?
start with one extra beer.
Generally, we work through Eventbrite, and I'll make sure that it's live tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So somebody just got some late night homework, and
Andy Cope.
I gotta go.
but yeah, vegan or vegetarian?
Not this one.
Oh yeah, that's Garrett Oliver.
Yeah,
one.
so
Sorry.
Mud Hen will do the Valentine's Day vegan dinner, and Mud Hen is in the farmer's market. Unlike your last guest who drove 550 miles to be here, I drove, 2 miles. And so we're at Mud Hen. If you haven't been there, it's a nutritious restaurant. Chef Suki is the exec there, and the food is good and good for you. And so we'll
place
do
is
the
great.
vegan beer dinner there on the 14th.
Garrett Oliver,
Yep.
Flying Saucer
Lake.
Lake. What day?
February the 8th.
February the 8th.
It's a Thursday.
And then a separate event, the vegan dinner at Mud Hen.
Right, and that is, staggered times. There's no speaker,
Okay.
and it's kind of cool like that.
Okay.
I've seen those before, but it's, just timing and dates.
Come as you
and stuff.
go. You
Yeah,
can sit down.
so
You can get a coursed meal and make it
we see
happen.
32 tops across, seated at different times.
Right on.
It's good.
Well, that's cool. We've got some cool events coming up on the Brain Dead side of things. Coming up real soon, we actually have a lot of amazing support with our video game night. Tuesday night we do video game, we plug in Smash Brothers on the projector, do Mario Kart, things like that. We have a Mario Kart tournament coming up January 27th? 23rd, January 23rd, and that's a Tuesday, and we're doing a Mario Kart tournament. So
Very
you
cool.
come in, you register, we're bracketing the whole thing. We've got a
I
lot
was just
of.
gonna
what's
ask,
that?
can the
Can
kids
Jay
come? 'Cause
Yes,
they're way
yeah.
better
Kids,
than me.
kids can come. It is a $10 entry fee to play. If you are over 21, you get a voucher for a beer with that $10 entry fee. If you are under 21, you pay $10 to
don't
hang
get
out with adults, and you get to pay $10 to beat adults at video games.
My kid could probably drink more beer than I can.
So,
He's better at video games than drinking beer.
the last one we did was Smash Brothers tournament. It was really awesome. We had like nationally ranked top 100 people in the nation here showing up for that. Everyone's bringing their own controllers, bringing their
No,
own,
man, I got
bringing their
mine.
own sticks, bringing their own sticks to the tournament. So this one's Mario Kart. It'll be a little bit more, flexible and open to the public. Anybody can play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people talking trash on our.
But more signed up
on
for
our
this
Facebook
one
group.
than they did the other.
Definitely.
So I bet you there will
Over
be
1,000 people interested, so it'll be
their little billiard case.
It'll be get here early. There's people saying, "I'll beat you with Bowser." There's like shit talk going on about who's gonna beat who with what character. So kind of a cool thing.
Nice. Someone's gonna open a case and a gleaming light's gonna come out.
Yeah,
That's
right.
over after that. Everyone's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's done.
So that's that going on. What else we got going up? What's going on this weekend? What are you doing this weekend? Any parties? Professionally, personally?
Well, I like to
Any
get
live
out into
music
the woods on
coming
the
up?
weekends.
I just went to
He's a
Caddo.
hunter.
I just went to Caddo. You need to come out to Caddo sometime and not get hazed by these guys. We can actually just like sit on the porch.
I want to
And to relax and not have to run up and down any hills or
just chill.
anything.
I turned
He's
purple.
admin now.
This horse shit. Sorry, I don't mean to use the language.
were
But this
you-
horse
you were
shit.
admin?
I was admin last year, but somehow that didn't work out quite right.
Caddo Lake is my favorite place to go.
I'm
Caddo
not
Lake
bitter
is,
at all.
Bullshit.
is Texas-Louisiana border out I-20, and Ado Management has very generously taken all of the GMs over the years to have a special retreat of the 16 Flying Saucers, and there's a lot of good competition and things that happen there. I think I turned purple at the last one that I went to.
It was hot, man. It was the Pine Island deal. I saw your face.
We
I'm
lost
sorry,
a lot
man.
of people on that trip.
Jake Rainey.
You handed me a Gatorade and you felt so bad. You're like, this is all I have for you.
It was tough, man. That's not our style
That
generally.
thing has evolved, and whatever the reverse of evolving is, regressed.
Yeah.
And many trips.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good time. There's other things to do out there other than becoming a general manager of the Flying Saucer to get. And the crazy thing is beer reps come out to that too. You know, so it was like
We've tortured a few.
Adam Avery's been out there 2 times.
Yeah, taught
He's bad.
taught us for
So once
hanging
you
out
get your
there.
pin, you're
Jim-
allowed to torture after? All right.
Yeah, so like it's the whole seal thing, pounded into
Yeah.
your chest.
Yeah. Jim Kinney was there the day that I almost died.
It's a saucer.
He was like,
He was a trooper. He's like got military experience, and he was like, "What is this death march you doing?"
he's like, okay, I see the sun. It's moving this way. Let's go this way. Okay, Jim.
Yeah.
Another dead end.
I want to point out that you were our first charter member.
Hey, I forgot.
Charter member number
Thank you.
one.
Thank you.
Drew reminded me on the way out, he's like, you fucking say that. Remember?
As we mentioned last week on Tony's episode, the charter members are a group that's very special to us, and Keith is charter member number one. The first person I called when we ran out of money because my dad wasn't going to give us any, and
Happy to do it.
He'll take it though.
I get $1 off a beer. Yeah, something happens.
yeah,
I got
absolutely.
a ground. I got a shirt. My
There's
son took it
all
off.
kinds of good stuff. That charter member growler that Tony has looks like a bowling pin. It's been through the
Yeah.
ringer,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That thing is like almost white from
Yeah.
being scuffed. Speaking of growlers, we do a new growler happy hour thing where $20 you fill up a growler of whatever you want, or not whatever you want, with a list of 5 or 6 beers, chips and queso and nachos. We serve it to you without a lid, and you have to have a buddy. I can't sell you a growler to drink by
Cool
yourself.
picture.
I can't have a gallon of beer by myself.
No, I legally cannot sell you a 64-ounce serving of beer. However, some of our neighbors can sell you bottles of vodka. If you want to go buy a bottle of
I
vodka,
understand that. It's kind of odd.
you can buy a
would be
whole
in trouble.
keg or a bottle of vodka, but I, on the other hand, have to stay at 30 ounces.
I want to read the rules on this. You know, you talk about fly paper.
Yeah.
When Corey and I, well, he started it, but I was going around with him basically. I felt like I was learning how to like start a restaurant. And I looked back at that maybe 2 years ago. Like I had a little file, big file of shit that we had stolen from all the beer places. And I want to tell you, and this is truthful, there were more stolen beer fly paper than any of the rest.
We
all
made it
different
easy,
colors.
though.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think it is a compliment. And like people like, well, I can't believe they'd steal that. It's like, I'm glad you fucking stole that. It's like it's cool. But it's definitely a place that people like. I don't know if many people know. And,
Admittedly, I still do it today. I was down at ABGB in
Yeah.
Austin, and I was like,
Flying Saucer and what you guys did, like, brought beer to Texas. Like I think like a lot of places did what they did, but you guys brought the shit. And like
Yeah.
we have you to thank for that. So I'm gonna cry, man.
Thank you, man.
Oh,
So
it's about as emotional as I've ever seen him
I'll
get.
say
That's-
this.
that's
I
awesome.
appreciate that. In the beginning, we had to have 8 Rogue handles next to John, but we did.
Harvey Rogue Fryman.
Yeah.
Right.
Harvey Rogue
So we were a big supporter
Harvey
of
Rogue
Rogue
Fryman's
ales.
his kid.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to come by. And today, Jeff, there's so many beers, it's impossible. Somebody told me a stat that maybe there's a brewery that opens every 11 hours, or maybe it's sooner than that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the influx is so strong now, it's just hard to know what to pick up. But back then, no one really wanted it.
Yeah.
And I think even distributors are kind of pushing it off. But we've fought it through. This is what we want. This is what we want. And brought it to other markets. And so that was fun for us to pioneer some of that in some other markets. It's been a long journey, man, and it's certainly a different game right now.
So how do you stay up on that game, like keeping relevant in the in the beer scene?
Yeah.
Or are we?
So
We don't get to know the secrets.
No. Look, I mean, it's not easy. I mean, a lot of people do rotation nation. I get it. You're always rotating something.
Yeah.
That's what our beer nerds want. I think we have to all be careful to protect the breweries we want to remain in our market. Because if we're not buying them at the supermarket, or if we're not buying them at your local pub like ours or yours, then they're not going to stay. And we've seen some people leave, and there are more locals now than ever, and I get it, and that's great. But you got to take care of the people that you love.
Sure.
And that's kind of what we've been doing, and teaching your staff how to talk about it and try to serve it right. All those things are important. You know that.
Yeah.
I was very proud of you when I saw a post that you had changed all your draft lines, and you were like, "Hey, woo, we did it." A lot of people don't even know that.
We post line clean dates on our board.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, our brewers clean the lines. Actually, anybody that's interested in the Cicerone program, we've had a couple people studying for the Cicerone program asked to come get involved in helping us clean our lines, and you're welcome to come do so. Yeah, you got it.
Don't break your toe.
But
Yeah, really.
20 years
Careful how
later.
you move the kegs.
but we also we don't have any. We are about to turn 3 at the beginning of March, and we don't have any tap lines that are 3 years old in this building. We cut and rerun our lines every. We try to do it every year. It's a little wiggly there, but 18 months or so, we're cutting and rerunning the whole draft system and get to have a party where it's like, hey guys, these are virgin tap lines. Let's come be the first people to drink out of these draft lines.
I was actually talking about that with Rick over at Lone Star.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of people don't know that. You can taste a beer at a place like us and then go across the street and taste it, and they can actually know it. But it's hard to like educate people on that, even now.
Yeah.
They think they know about beer, but they're like, oh, well, this is great. I just drink this beer wherever I go. It's like, dude, you haven't had it how it's supposed to be from
Correct.
the brewer,
And it really messes with everybody's, perception of reality in terms of, you think it's supposed to taste like that because you've been drinking it, at whatever place, and then you come, that's not right.
Yeah.
No, actually.
And that,
this
like a
is
place
it.
like us, who like we barely put out anything. Sorry to interrupt,
you're great.
but like we barely put out anything out on the market. And like if we have something that tastes bad at a bar, we're done. And they're never gonna come here because of that. They're gonna be like, "Now their beer was terrible." And is that our fault? Kind of, because we don't like educate that person. Like, how do we? Like your draft line needs to be clean, just like ours is.
It looks easy.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody jumps into it. And then when you realize, like, oh shit, I gotta keep up with line cleans, keep up with, product quality coming from someone. Like, what are you doing to ensure that this beer that I buy today is the same beer I'm buying in a week or 2 weeks?
I was
whatever.
looking at the $400 that we poured out, and I can't even think of the the amount that you guys have pouring out. Like every time you clean your lines, is like, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We comp $1,000 every 2 weeks.
Yeah, at the saucer the ones that I used to run specifically, namely Austin, we actually would clean half our lines every week, so that we could spread out that hit
that big hit.
of being like, hey, I'm dumping 2 pints out of 40 different lines today just to scrub them and make sure they're clean. So if you're out there drinking beer, ask the places that you go when they clean their lines. When was the last time this line was cleaned? If they look at you like you're crazy, then that means that you can probably taste what's going on.
Get a bottle.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's one of the more difficult things of craft. We're trying to get out there and spread craft and do that and support craft. And as much as I like to support craft every single time I can, sometimes, like if I'm out in Marfa and there's, Oscar Blues Dale's Pale and Sierra Nevada sitting on the shelf, I'm like, holy crap! Like, I asked the bartender in Marfa, which one do you sell more of? Because I want to drink the freshest. And she said, oh, sweetie, West Texas is where they send the beer after everybody else sends it back. And she actually, as a bar operator, she honestly believed that it's like that's where they just sent the beer that was out of code and shipped it out west. And that's the trickiest thing. We want beer to be fresh and lines to be clean and glasses to be clean and everything to be properly done. And we try to be ambassadors to that cause as much as we can, but at the end of the day, the more beer proliferates, the more bad beer is going to start being out there on shelves, and it's important for us to distinguish that. And if people have out-of-code beer, then that needs to be something that's communicated to breweries and distributors and stuff, and not just saying, oh, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale sucks because I drank a 10-month-old one while I was, out on a vacation. So ask those questions, find out those things. The more everybody starts carrying craft beer, the more there are people carrying craft beer that don't really love it and give it all the credit that it's due. So ask those questions, find out, support the places you love, support the breweries that you love, go out, buy the beer. That's just the best way to do it.
Speaking of the beer, the Pils is phenomenal.
Thank you. With the big tanks next door. Nice.
I told Keith.
Thank you, man.
We are live on Central Track. We live on forever on YouTube, but we are live on Central Track. So make sure to follow us on Facebook and check out Central Track when that gets going. You can ask us questions. Jeff's over there paying attention. If anybody asks questions that are relevant, we bring it up.
Anything good come through?
But
Just like, hey.
I'm in my room, totally bored.
But
like your beard.
Those new tanks help us lager. So we had Exhausted Nihilist, which we call their Polish Pilsner. It used Polish hops. That's what we drank a whole bunch of. And then Mechanical Advantage just came out. On just this week, yesterday. Yeah. So we are drinking that, and it's good. It is a German Pils, uses Irex Pilsner malt, 100% Irex Pilsner malt from Dortmund, Germany. So we bring that barley all the way from Germany to make the beer for you, and mostly Hallertau Miller Brew on that. So that'll be around here once we get it approved. We can be able to ship it out to you guys.
Sweet.
And try to make those things happen. But we're at the end here. Time to finish the beer. Anybody else got anything to say?
Tons.
No.
I don't know anybody wants to listen to what I have to say.
I was thinking, how are we going to fill 30 minutes?
Should we get another growler?
There's two.
Yeah, this is the first time we've ever got another growler. You want me to?
Add 15 minutes.
I ain't scared.
Yes, let's do that.
Thank you.
Are you okay, Anton?
Is that right?
Hey, you want to help him with the boom? He's
Yes.
doing a two-man job.
Anton, thank you. Maybe we should
Where'd the
get Anton
boom
here.
operator
All
go?
right, we're adding another
We had
growler.
to take that call from
Just
earlier.
gonna figure out what it is.
I do have a chore to do after this,
Okay.
but that's not going to happen.
We'll carry the load.
No, it's fine. It's so good when it hits your lips.
Dark again? That's pretty tasty, unless you want me to switch back to the Pils.
You can do the that ESB Sword and Crown.
How do you pick your names?
Mostly Futurama, but honestly,
I've drank a Red 5 though, so there's a Star Wars influence.
Yeah, so that was Red 2 actually.
Oh, sorry.
And that was a reference to Brain Dead Red being one of our flagships that we really love. And then Red 2, for our second anniversary, we wanted to do something kind of cool. So Red 2 was Brain Dead Red base beer. And then we just threw a boatload of rye in there to top up the mash tun to shake that up. And then I think there was like oak spiral or something that happened to it, if my memory serves me correctly. Sorry, Drew.
I've had a
Comment
lot-
with
lot-
what really
That's true
happened.
what it was.
And
It's been
so
forever since I had it. I didn't even know the name correctly, but
yeah,
it was
we,
good.
We were kind of playing around with that, and then Red 2, I believe, was Wedge Antilles in the
Yep.
Battle of Hoth on Empire Strikes Back. And so the whole idea of Red 2, it being a second Red, started to play along. So we did a cool custom
I
glass
heard
with
they're
Wedge
going
in
to name
there
the
and
new
a
movie
Space
Red
Speeder.
2 then.
After our beer. After our beer, yeah. They
Rogue
heard,
Squadron is coming around.
they heard.
I was thinking about rabbit holes we didn't want to go down. We're on the first one.
Yeah, well, I told Tony that I was going to kill him last week on the show, so we're doing better than that. I said he was like Luke Skywalker, and he went out to his little Jedi retreat out in West Texas, and I was going to come out and murder him.
That's
on his
exactly
own
it.
turf.
In fact, you should be here.
You started as a
Where are
joke,
you?
and then I was like, okay, dude, you're like,
Hey, you're being kind of intense.
So, hey, does Tony have a
What do we got?
wonderful life? 'Cause
Sword in the Crown.
Sword and the Crown, Growler 3, engage.
is Tony's life as cool as he portrays it to be on Facebook?
All of our lives are as cool as we portray them to be on Facebook.
Because I see him building a lot of bonfires, look at stars,
Yeah.
chilling.
Built a giant teepee
He's
in
a
West
desert
Texas.
hippie. And I envy
I think
that.
it's got to be as cool as we think
I
it is.
think he's just a cool dude.
I believe
Yeah.
it.
I saw him play Beastie Boys, somebody's on the washboard kicking ass. He's so good.
They played at Armory last weekend. Speaking of Beastie Boys, one of our neighbors, Shoals, cocktail bar right over there on Elm Street.
We're still going at
Michael Martinson's joint.
Nice.
Oh, okay. He wants in. He wants in.
He can have part of mine.
That's Schlabs' beer. We're going to mail that one out. Shoals, our neighbor, one of the things that they do that's super cool is they put on whole albums. They put on like vinyl. And the other day I swung by there just to have a shot after I picked up some Oni ramen or something. And I went by there to have a shot and just unwind for a minute. And I planned on heading out. And they put on License to Ill,
Very
the whole
good.
vinyl
damn it.
album. I was like, man, I gotta sit here and listen to
You
this.
can't start that and not finish.
Now
Right?
we're gonna listen to this whole Beastie Boys record. But yeah, Michael Martinson and Omar Yifun's like one of the main men. Our Jeff and my real good friend Mate Hartai is a guy who helped us study for the Master Cicerone exam that we all took together. And he actually came and helped us install our draft system.
Yeah.
Night one, it took, even after having installed a few draft systems for
Monte
you.
helped you?
Yeah.
Mate helped us. Those refrigerator panels that we got, stainless steel.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a stainless steel bit that you could buy.
Yeah, I know that now.
Thanks, Keith.
It's like butter.
Just in time. Just in time for the third anniversary.
Nailed it. You're there on the spot.
$59, but it's there.
Yeah. It was a little too late. We was like 2 o'clock. We're like driving to like whatever Home Depot's open, and we gotta get this done. And we're just buying bits and just crack.
So Jake Rainey, who you know and love,
Indeed.
is a good man. He and I went to Dead and Co. Kind of not together, but yeah, you were there. We spent a lot of time together. It was a good show.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
We were
was a
all
good
there.
show.
Fun.
Yeah, bro.
We
were
were
all
all
Everybody
sorry.
at this table, let's add that concert.
We were all
video.
right there
That's how much
together.
fun he had at Dead and Co.
Yeah, he was like, oh wait, yeah, you were there.
So Jake, for fun, when we opened Cordova, we reversed the drill when we were drilling
Yeah,
Or
tackle.
is it just
And
the stout?
Jorge and I
lemon
could punch
DSB?
through a draft, we just nail each hole.
Yeah.
No,
And then
it's a rye
we
ESP,
reversed it on
so
Jake,
maybe that
and it
rye
took
has
him
come out.
forever to hammer through this.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell am I doing wrong? I'm like, I don't know, I think it's just more
chopped
muscle.
off one of
And
those.
he finally got through it on reverse. And it was just super funny, man.
I would have never even thought to put it on reverse.
No, we put it on reverse and he
Just
was
melts
sweating it,
through
man.
it.
He was just like, I'm gonna get through this no matter what. He drilled through the penny panel, the walk-in cooler, everything on reverse.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh my.
I'm the asshole here. You put it on reverse to fuck with him.
And he was like, why can't I
killed
get through
himself
this?
to do it.
Jake, I don't know
Oh my God, Jake.
if so
That's
to
amazing.
his credit, he did it.
Yeah.
He installed the
He
draft
got
system.
He got through. It's kind of like your refrigerator.
How are you guys making it so easy? Yeah, that's awesome.
So night number one, it took Jeff and I a whole night to drill one hole. we weren't going to leave until we got one hole.
Were you drinking?
Yes.
We were drinking, yes.
Yeah. There's a great picture. I actually almost used it as a thing for today, but there's a great picture of us smiling, burning through bits, trying to drill through that first night. So night 1 was 1 hole. Night 2 was like 6 holes. And then we started having training classes, and we like started putting trainees on it. It's like, all right, here's the drill. This is how you drill a hole. Just lean on this for 15 minutes.
Well, it's the same thing with
I'm not quite sure we're insured yet, but go for it.
like the pickle jar, dudes walk by and they're like, they would come by to drink a beer and they'd be like, let me get a swing at that. It's like, all right. They think they can do it.
That's why we build a fire on the front porch
Yeah.
in the chilly time. Every dude within that walks down Main Street wants to come help us get the fire started.
Yeah. I know what you're doing wrong here.
Put it up like a teepee.
Yeah.
You need a feather. Blow through a feather quill.
There's something about a good fire, though.
It's true. There's something bad about a bad fire.
Very bad.
Like, oh, that's what you really did. It's like, you really actually do need to be taught how to make a fire.
So what's next?
Awkward sounds and silence.
That's the sound of drinking. It's a
Yeah,
good-
it is,
it's a good
really.
sound.
Sounds good.
I think that's it. I think we've got. There's nothing to do but just tell me about it. I've had more beer than Keith. That's special.
He has had more than me. I told him to protect me from myself here today. And you've done it pretty
And
good
here
job.
we did. We added a third growler and dangled it.
Yeah, he helped me
You
a
said
little bit.
go easy on us, so we drank more
I feel like
beer
you're the
than
one who
we've ever
called for
drank
the
before.
third growler, so what do you want to talk about, man?
So something sad as shit, you know that. And not to bring the house down, but Austin, which is your home ground. And
I have to spill one for Austin.
Well,
down my
For a
throat.
little on my homie.
so I can't not talk about it because I went down and tell the staff, and 10 years was up, our lease was up, and we decided to close it. And we're their extraction team right now, taking everything out. If anyone in Austin, Texas needs a beer savvy waiter, waitress, bartender, we have a few left. We also have tried to position most of our people in the beer world who want to be in the beer world, as far as breweries and reps.
Yeah.
And a lot of our staff have gone on to do wonderful things like open brew pubs and be directors of breweries.
Yeah,
and
Rebecca Kiefer's like regional manager for
Left Hand.
Left Hand.
Yeah, so I
I
think-
remember hiring her as a server.
So the training is there. We've invested in them. If you're in Austin, you need somebody, hire them or email us through our website, and we'll get them. Hopefully get them a job. But there's a lot of rumors. The bottom line is, and you know it, we opened in the Quadrangle at 47th and Lamar.
Yep.
Triangle.
No, what'd I say?
You said quadrangle. But
Oh, I
that's-
said
that's-
Quadrangle.
That's a different place. That's
Way
in
more
Dallas.
local.
That's the export. No, the triangle, and it is. It's kind of hidden now, and I don't know that that's it, but anyway, we had gone to the end of our 10-year, and we just decided not to re-up, and I think 10 years is a long time. And Addison is in 22 years, and Fort Worth in 23 years, and
I don't
Memphis
know.
we just signed another 10-year, and Memphis would be 30 years.
Who stuck it in my head that the average lifespan of a beer bar or restaurant, 5-something years? I mean, I think we've far and above exceeded all expectation.
Well, I want it to be positive, and I loved Austin. In Austin, what we did, Sam, is we went to markets that needed us because they didn't have beer.
Yeah.
And we brought the beer with us.
Yeah.
Like you said, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville,
Selling beer in 1999.
Raleigh. In
Nashville,
fact, we
Tennessee.
helped
Let me tell you how much fun
we
that
helped
was.
pop the cap in Raleigh because at the time that we opened, they didn't allow anything over 6%.
Yeah.
Sean Wilson, Full Steam Brewing Company, and our beer nerds helped kind of push some legislation through that allowed beers over 6%. And so we were bringing beer to people, and Austin was the place that didn't need it.
Yeah.
But Austin is fun, it's cool, it's funky. We're going to miss it, and but
Well, he says we
figure it
won't be back.
Everybody says Southwest, so maybe.
See, that's what I was going to ask, but you guys are saying that there is maybe, if you're talking about going to other places, that's cool.
Where did you
I
go?
bit my bottom lip.
Because it just makes no sense for you guys not to be there. You've been a fixture for so long,
Well, we've had a lot of heartfelt, responses and a few zingers, and I certainly think that we did some good things there. And I love some of the things that you said about Jeffrey and his brewery, and I remember you being a big influence there.
Austin's cool. I love Austin. That beer scene's a really special place in my heart. That beer advocate tasting group that we all got together in. Mike Lambert used to post on his beer advocate tasting group, and we'd meet up and go over to Josh Wilson's spot at the Draft House and pop bottles and hang out with each other. And that was a 10-year tasting group that's been together. That group of people drinking beer had a 10th anniversary party.
That's
of
killer.
How long we've been drinking beer together. I wasn't able to go, but it's crazy. We've had people in our tasting group die, stuff like that. It's like that's what that community is like, was like, and will be like, because they love beer and they get together down there. And every city needs to do that for itself, is get together and drink beer with some strangers and make friends. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. That's what Growlersations is about. That's what Brain Dead's about. That's what Flying Saucer's about.
Culture and community.
Nice.
Drinking beer, hanging out, as we like to say at Brain Dead, be excellent to each other. Rip that off from old Bill and Ted, but I'll take it and help it live on. So,
Excuse me real
cheers to
quick.
that.
While we're doing this. Hi, Odette.
Oh yeah, Odie's watching. Odette is Jeff's youngest of two.
She said no one's saying hi to her, but she's saying hi to the screen.
Even better. Hey Odette, I got some gum for you, Odie. Next time I see you, I got a piece of gum. You're gonna love it. That's what I give her gum every time to trick her into liking me. It's my little Pavlovian thing I've got going on.
Gum and lipstick. She's in. It works.
Melissa does the Snapchat, I do the gum. It works out.
Well, thanks for having us, brother.
Yeah, of course.
I can't chug this, Keith.
What's
We
next?
do something
we
else.
finished.
What's next for you? What's getting opened up?
We've had people ask, when the hell are you going to reopen Austin? And it's kind of on the back burner right now. I'm sure Shannon will figure out something. But we've got Houston Flying Saucer.
Shannon, never heard of this guy.
Shannon Shellmeyer Wynn, as you know.
Senior.
Yeah. When I see your text, SW, I'm like, he still intimidates me a little bit. But,
Me too.
Yeah. He has.
Jeff.
Hey, remember Belgium?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's part of Flying Saucer.
Yeah. So Shannon is the visionary for all.
Okay.
He doesn't even drink. And, luckily, I met him, when I did. He's been very kind to us. But we are opening Rodeo Goat Houston.
Yeah.
Could be the slowest contractor in the history of mankind.
He can't hear you.
He won't. He doesn't even have internet, so he doesn't see what we're saying. You can't pour concrete after it's freezing,
Nope.
FYI.
Or rain. And when it's raining,
And it's always going
You
to
have
happen
to tell him
tomorrow. No, he told us that. And I get it. I Googled it. It's a thing. But probably February for Rodeo Goat Houston.
Yeah.
Edo, it's by Eighth Wonder. You guys probably know those guys. And then we'll build a rodeo goat at the Lake Ray Hubbard at the harbor.
Nice.
And then in Plano. So we've got 3 things going.
All right, so seriously, we killed 3 growlers.
Yeah, we're done.
That's awesome.
Sam, here.
That's now the new standard.
Nah,
Can you
Anton
get
would
to
kill
the
me.
third?
Anton would quit. Can't do that.
So that's what we got going on. It's busy times.
Yeah.
Busy
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Okay.
What do you have going, Mark?
What do I have going
Oh,
on?
we gotta finish this to get out of here.
Anybody scared?
Oh, were you telling us to quit? Sorry.
I can take some of yours. I'm just volunteering to help finish for the team.
I don't think I'm going back to work, bro.
And
Nah, not today.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Let's close it out. Hey, anybody got any final parting words to say?
Let's make 2018 a great year. Support the breweries you want to stay here. I know a lot of people that are in the industry are asking us what the hell's going on because they're not getting the love that they once had. And I think it's just, like you said, is a saturation here. So, just like you say also, going to the restaurants that you love.
Yeah.
By the way, my son loves the shit out of your place. I see his debit card. There's a lot of transactions. They're low, so no beers on there, but he likes to eat here. He loves Deep Ellum.
Yeah.
So, but go to the places you love because we've seen some closures in our market.
Yeah.
Drink from the breweries
Lushers.
that you want.
Lusher's filament right across
You know
the
what?
street.
Brian is so good, and the grape is so fantastic
Yeah.
every time I go there. And
Definitely.
I go there probably 3 times a month. And even your posts inspire me to think about it and remember it. I've been to Victor Tango's twice in the last 2 weeks, and I know that's near and dear to you.
Yep.
What a good place that is,
That's a good thing to leave it on. Vote with your dollar. Go out there, spend the money at the places you love. I love 100 places, and so I try to go out there and spend my money at all those places that I can. Find bartenders that you care about, tip them well. Find servers that you care about, show up on their shifts. Get out there and spend the money in the right place.
Is that what it was?
If there's places that you want to be there in 5 years, they may not be willing to tell you, but everybody's hurting right now. So get out there, spend the money, tell them that you love them, be a part of it, tell your friends about it. I don't care if it's Brain Dead, Flying Saucer, Victor Tango's that just pulled the plug is just one of those fine examples of how awesome places can move on. I hear they're reopening Victor Tango's as something else, and it'll become a thing and it will live on. But we had Tobin here talking about Victory Park, and
Yeah.
there's been a lot of mention of
The whole
places
street is just
places from
changing.
the
It's
past.
weird.
Exactly. Get out there, drink, love, spread the love, tell people that you love it, and enjoy yourself. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're up to 12 YouTube subscribers, so super good. And also thank you to Central Track for getting out there and doing the hard work and putting us out there every day.
Hi, Harvey. I forgot to say
And
bye to
Anton,
you.
you're the man. Harvey, you are also the man. I love you guys, and we
like a new boom
are
gun.
not till it's done.
Thank you,
Nice
Mr.
job.
Foley.
Boom, boom. All right, you're out.